Okay. Knock on wood. We should be live. That is a very big should with a question mark. Because I'm not 100,000,000% sure if it will be live. This is on my, we should. Okay, it seems like it's fine. This is on my, computer. This is, so it's the same thing I would when I was streaming the, ranking all of the Deltarune soundtrack. Since I'm not going to really be making any more videos, if you have not watched my newest video about my bingo card, you should definitely go watch that. I basically, I do want to check, is there a way I can, like, share this to the channel? Yeah, create post. Yeah. There we go. Create a post so I can hopefully get some more people in here, because I do kind of want to have other opinions about this. I might try and continue by myself, but I wanted to have a oh wait, so I have a 1 second delay. I did change that, so it shouldn't be that big of a delay. I decided that I wasn't going to make any more real content. I mean, I wouldn't have enough time. My videos, depending on how big they are, take different amount of times. The bingo took a while because I had to make 2 bingo cards within a day's time, and then also edit them all together. So it took around a day and a half to make that video, and I cut it kind of close. As a matter of fact, you can tell in that video I say that it was only a week before. I was a week when I started recording it, and now it's literally 2 days until we get chapter 3 and 4. So I can't really make any more videos. So I wanted to try and do some random this. So these are some of the kind of random theories. Some of them are popular. Yeah, these are like 160 plus theories. Some of these are big. I can already see some of them in here that I feel like are big. But some of them are got kind of just being like all random, I think. So I probably gonna, how I'm gonna rank it is that F, I feel like there's no way that's happening. And then S is going to be, I think that's going to be canon. Like, one way or another, we are going to see this in the game. So, starting off strong, Asgore is 100% going to be in a chapter. I feel like that's going to be the same with Jockington and Caddy, where it's confirmed Jockington is going to be in a future chapter. Papyrus, I don't think it's confirmed. Papyrus, I would like to be that, but I don't feel like it's as big. Same thing with Sans. I feel like they're kind of together. Vessel is Knight, I do feel like has some capabilities. I feel like we don't have evidence to support it, but we also don't have too much evidence to deny it. So I'll put it like middle. Not mid. B is probably good. Rules is important. Now, this might be confirmation bias. My theory that I made heavily implies that Rules is going to be a very important character. So I want to put Rules in this. I feel like it is canon, at least not as important as like, oh, he's going to be like the key character in everything or whatever. I feel like Rules is definitely going to be an important character to some key parts. The reason I think he's important is, in my theory, he is one of the few, he's the only other Darkner besides Rousey who doesn't turn to stone immediately, and Rousey doesn't turn to stone at all. Now, he does turn to stone completely in the weird route, but I feel like the weird route has some exceptions. In the normal play, when he's playing through it, he's becoming kind of like the piracy-esque computer Darkner. That's the kind of idea he was, and he only turns to stone when he gets off of his pirate ship or whatever. So he leaves that, he turns to stone, and he doesn't fully turn to stone. Only the like his body does, and his head stays there because he has the pirate hat on. So he's still technically kind of a piracy for computers or whatever. And I feel like that's going to be important later down the line. He might show up randomly in each chapter just to be kind of like a side gag character, but I feel like he's definitely going to be important. Intros to chapters are flashbacks. I've heard about this. I really don't like that one. This is saying that the when we have the introductions to stuff and maybe some the stories that Rouse say and everything, they're all not really real, and I don't really like, or they're flashbacks to something that previously. I don't know if it's on this list, but there's another theory talk about time loop theory that I think is constructed better. This one makes you jump into a lot of hoops, so I don't really like this one too much. Next one, memory heads refer to Deltarune. Okay. I could see this one being somewhat plausible. The memory heads are the people. Does the chat work? So I do want to check if the chat works. Okay, I think the chat works. I typed in hi by myself. It looked like it was slow on my end because I didn't have the chat wasn't loading. It had like the loading symbol, so I got confused. The memory heads can refer to stuff in the True Lab. I don't necessarily know if they're referring to Deltarune. I haven't seen what they are in a while. But I feel like that's interesting. Noah attacked Darkners at the start. Oh, yeah, I've heard... I don't like this one too much. This one is talking about she attacked Darkners at the start of Chapter 2. I don't think this is good because she's surprised when you get into the first battle with the Vir-Virakun, and you have to teach her how to do battles. So that's pretty much deconfirmed. So I feel like that one doesn't have any of that one. Noelle created Spamton. Hi A, from the newsletter, we know that there's possibilities of her creating like a Peepus egg thing. I don't know it's necessarily Spamton, but there's stuff to support that. Noelle killed Des. I have not actually heard this one. I feel like I don't actually know where to put this one. I feel like it would definitely be a big reveal, but I feel like Noelle would be a lot more of a different character if she did actually kill Des. Maybe she killed Des and doesn't realize it, but also we don't think Des is in the code. I'll put it maybe a B. I could see where it could go either way. Oberon Smog, I think it's funny, but I don't really know too much. Player will leave Chris / become Vessel. That's probably happening. There's 100% happening at least some point within the game. Sorry, it looked like the frames were dropping on my end. I want to look at that. Actually, if you give me a second, I'm actually gonna go... Oh wait, did it that... Okay, I'm gonna... Here, let me pull that out so you guys... I want to look at it without like typing in my password or whatever. I want to make sure that the stream's chat is actually working. On my side, it keeps messing up and I'm a little confused. I want to look at it without like typing in my password or whatever. Oh, you guys are I want to make sure that sorry, I'm going to mute that. You guys were probably hearing my voice double up for a second. It seems like you can chat. Okay, I don't know why it kept giving me an alert. That's weird. Okay, whatever. Next up is Rouse cares about the player, not Chris. Huh. I feel like there is stuff to support that. The Dorked. Dorked does good theory, so I'm gonna put that there. I actually might put that higher than Papyrus and Sands. I would just like to happen. Ralsei has a crush on the player. No, I don't like that. Ralsei has a shadow crystal. Okay, this is going into another theory. There's a theory where we'll possibly see Ralsei. We have to fight Ralsei at some point. We don't know when, but there was a theory that possibly we could fight Ralsei and he has like a Megalovania or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if he would have a shadow crystal. That would explain why he's different than other Darkners. I would say I put that one in C. I feel like that could go. I don't feel like there's too much evidence to support that one, but I could see with that one. Chess Theory. I didn't like Chess Theory, but I feel like it's practically canon. There's no reason it shouldn't be. The only thing, maybe I'll put it down in A, because the only thing that is not technically canon is we don't know if Chapter 3 will have a Rook character. Considering it's pretty much confirmed, or pretty obvious that Chapter 4 is going to be the Church. I would like to say that it's going to be the Bishop boss. But with Chess Theory, we would need to have the Rook character. I did talk about this in my bingo video, or the predictions video. I didn't like it because I felt like it constrained on the idea of different bosses. They would have to be that, but the idea that they could have different characteristics. Rook, the way that the chess theory is laid out is obviously each main villain is going to be the chess pieces in descending order. So we're going to have Chapter 1 with King. He is the highest valued piece, and he doesn't move. He only attacks when provoked, like in chess. Queen moves around, is like a very prominent player in Chapter 2, and is the second valued piece. And the third one would be Rook. And with Rook, you have the thing where Rook can be a not only is Rook kind of a play on words of crook, but actually let me type in Rook definition. Yeah. Fraud, overcharge, or swindle somebody. So Rook could mean a swindler. Yeah, people who have been rooked. To dupe, trick, cheat, defraud. I think it's very, very interesting. Is my stream behind on my side? I feel like it's a very interesting way to showcase that we could have a character like that. And also Rook can mean crook. Which Spamton does say, don't listen to that man, he's a crook, or like a liar and whatever. So the idea that Tenna could be kind of a pawn, because if we're going based off of how the characters move around, Queen moves around because she's a queen, King doesn't move around because he's a king and only attacks when it's necessary. For a Rook character in Chapter 3, they would need to have someone move before them. So in chess, you have the Rook the pawn is obviously in front of a Rook. So the idea that Tenna is the front of everything in Chapter 3, and then the Rook character is like the big manager and is a cheater, a swindler, I feel like is really cool, and I like that theory because of that. Ralsei evil? No. I feel like it's not definitely no. Like, these two are definitely just incorrect, I feel like. These ones are not happening. Ralsei evil, I don't think he's not necessarily... he's definitely has something hiding, so I can't say it's completely bad, because there's definitely something there. And then we have these ones. I don't really know where to put these ones. I mean, I guess it would be... I don't know if it would necessarily be a character moment for Ralsei to... I don't know. I guess I'll just kind of put them... I don't really know which way they go. These are kind of like headcanons more than anything. I don't want to put them in F tier because that's rude to put them in F tier. But I mean, it would be kind of cool, I guess, to have Rousey to have a character moment at least, because he doesn't really have a character moment. But I don't really see how that would. There's no real evidence. Some of these are just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and see what stick. So I would just kind of throw these in here. Maybe not even I feel like C's fine. They'll probably would stay low C tier. Rousey is Chris's true soul. I've seen this. I don't really know what to think about this. Probably that one. Rousey's headbands. That one's I feel like is good. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Rousey's the headband. I feel like that's a high possibility. I feel like Rousey is either that or the what's it called? I can't think now. Oh my gosh. My brain died. Or the Green Crayon, that's what it is. Rousey's working with Gaster, probably. Napstablook would be in chapter 3. Probably. Rousey 3. Okay, I should have a... Maybe I'll do that. I'll have another tab pulled up that you guys can't see so I can type it in. Rousey... Rousey Theory Daisy Knows. I have not seen... I wish people would, like, give their theories interesting names, I guess. Because just saying Rousey Theory is... I don't know what it's talking about. Daisy Knows. There we go. This doesn't really... Okay, his true identity. What did they have it as? Okay, I can't... I don't know what it's talking about if I can't watch the video. It's a 10-minute long video. I'm not watching a 10-minute long video. I guess I'll just put it in C tier. Sans is Darkner. No. I feel like we have so much evidence to showcase that Darkners are very special. I mean, they obviously are objects in the light world, and I feel like unless they're like Sans would be like Rousey, that would make sense. But it does explain some stuff because he bleeds when he in Undertale technically. So if that were the case, but I feel like there's too much going on there. I feel like that also wouldn't be a thing that would get revealed or have any evidence anytime soon. Same thing with Chris is Kara. No. Secret Bosses representing the deadly sins, I feel like does have some merit. I think it's interesting. Definitely a weird one, but definitely interesting. Spamton equals the Undertale, wrong number. No, these ones are just kind of some random ones. Susie's from a human community, I feel like has some possibility. It's definitely not... I'm going to move Oberon down. It's definitely not as insane as some of these other ones. Same thing with Susie has a bad home life. That's heavily implied. And the Susie's half human... I like because it has some ties to the everyone bleeds theory, which is one of my personal favorite theories. It's talking about how the monsters in Undertale and Deltarune are going to be different. Hello. I really feel like they're...
Did you text Mom?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
No.
Oh.
Sorry about that. My brother is asking me something. Crap, what was I thinking now? Oh no, my brain died. uh oh, the half human. I really like the everyone bleeds theory because it talks about the different how different monsters can be in Deltarune compared to Undertale, and I like that. And Susie has scrapped sprites where she bleeds, so it could just be like every monster in Deltarune bleeds, or it could be the case of Susie is half human, which would explain some stuff of how she's kind of an outclassed. So I definitely like that one a lot. Susie resists the player, probably definitely no for that one. We're ready for Deltarune. I'm so ready. I wasn't going to stream chapter 3 and chapter 4, but tomorrow, Deltarune will be tomorrow. I wasn't going to stream it, but I decided to do a post on YouTube to see if people wanted to see me stream it, and appear people want to see me stream it, so I'm going to stream it, which I wasn't expecting. Torio kills Undyne. I feel like that might happen. Same thing with Undyne being in chapter 3. Same, nope, not Frisk. Weird Route, probably. The surface doesn't appeal. It's really, it makes sense that he wants to go somewhere that's not the surface and not the underground. So it's perfect sense. That also would explain why Papyrus isn't really visible. Because if he took Papyrus back to Deltarune, especially considering in the Papyrus newsletter, Papyrus says, or the Q&A, he says that before Snowden, they lived in an area with green grass, and then Sans cuts them off. I strongly believe that they are the same, this is where it is confusing. Sans' brother isn't Papyrus in Deltarune. I feel like I don't know. He isn't. This could be the case, but also very much couldn't, simply because he's never outright said Papyrus. He's just said my brother. So I don't really know. I feel like that one needs some stuff. Soul, is that the Soul equals player or does not equal player? If that's does not equal player, that I feel like they might have accidentally hit something, right? Do I click confirm for this one, or I don't know. That's bothering me. 2 equal signs means no usually in like coding, but I've never seen the divide symbol. I'm just gonna put this one in D here, because I think that means no. Oh, that sucks. Nice. Toby, it was like last night, he posted like a guide to stuff. It did say in that guide that you can obviously just continue straight from chapter 3. Some stuff is different. Apparently moving forward, you won't fully unlock all of Hometown, so I do think it is better to replay everything. Yes, if they didn't, that would be a problem. Toby wouldn't do that. Because I fully played through on my PS5 because I wanted to have a save file ready. Considering it takes the same data, it's just gonna load back in, so I will immediately be able to play chapter 3 and 4. I won't have to wait for it. So I think they'll have to download, obviously, but Ralsei's final boss, that could be interesting. Put that in there. Chris is a vessel. I feel like I feel like it has some merit, but the fact that Chris has some backstory is a little weird. If you're gonna do 3 save files, I would recommend something. I did it because I wanted to try and see how it would work. I have 1 save file for the normal route, one save file for the normal route that has a lot of the items, one weird route save file, and then I have a third save file that is supposed to be for Spamton. When you do the Spamton fight, you load him into the loaded disc, but you don't actually have to go deposit that loaded disc into the thing to fight. You can just keep Spamton in your inventory. So I really, really want to see if there's a chance that we could keep Spamton in our inventory and then load Spamton into like Tenna, or like load him into a different thing in Chapter 3. You don't have to do that, especially if you already are planning to do multiple save routes for the what you said. But I feel like it would be so interesting to fight, like, let him get his revenge on Tenna or whatever. It would be really interesting, and I want to see if that is a possibility. Toby's known for those tiny details, so I want to see if there's any chance that will happen. I don't know if it will, but someone brought it up, and I actually put it in one of my theories. So, yeah, I just want to see if it would work. True name / Terra. Oh, okay. Because character, okay. You're gonna try that? Yeah, well thought out. Yeah, it wasn't me who said it. I forget who they were on Twitter. It was a post on Twitter that they were doing a theory, and I thought it was really, really cool. So I put it into I just tried it. I guess that could be there. Okay, I'm very sad about this. So if you don't know Penumbra Phantasia, this was a scrapped song that Toby had for Homestuck. It is one of the most beautiful made Toby Fox songs ever. If you want to go and Google it, you can on YouTube. The first one is like 7 minutes long. That's the right one you should listen to. It's amazing. And it has so many of the Deltarune motifs in it. It would make a perfect final boss theme for like the Angel, maybe for the Titans, whatever. However, Toby Fox confirmed in an interview with someone that the interviewer had a bunch of friends want to ask, is there going to be any music from past games? No music from his Halloween hack or Homestuck days are going to appear in Deltarune. Those are all behind him, meaning that has been outright confirmed to be false, which I hate because I would love to see it as the main boss theme because it's such an amazing theme, but it's so bad. That being said, this actually goes into the Nether one where I feel like, what was it? Let me actually Google that so I can list it. Because I'm not sure. I've seen it before. It was well run out. Deltarune. Okay, let's see. Nope. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Spamton would be gluttony or greed, it looks like. And Jevil would be pride because he's saying that I can do anything. So he's prideful in himself and his abilities. And Spamton would obviously be gluttony or greed. That makes sense. But yeah, going back to the Penumbra Phantasia, even though we won't get any Homestuck stuff, he didn't say anything about Undertale motifs. Yeah, greed does fit Spamton. So I feel like Megalovania is happening. Whether that is going to be, Sans, Susie, a different character, I don't know, but I really feel like uh Megalovania is definitely going to be in Deltarune. Megalo Strike Back is a lot of people associate it with Kara. That's the one that got blown up everywhere and everyone associates it with like a Kara fight and whatever. This was a scrapped song for Undertale, not Homestuck or the Earthbound hack. Yeah, Sans is already in the yeah. Um but it's never been fully released. It was in Undertale, so it's not out of the realm of possibility like Penumbra Phantasia is. So I would like to see it. I don't know if it's like confirmed. I would want it to happen, but I don't know what the likelihood of it happening because he's never actually used it. Yeah, Sans is in both games. Yeah, but I don't really know. Maybe it could. I'll put it in B. Deltarune will have 10 chapters. No, I feel like the story will get dragged out too long if we have 10 chapters. There is a possibility for a chapter 0 in the files, which I feel like is interesting, but I don't know about 10 chapters. Rudy will die. I'm sorry, but he's probably gonna die at least some point. I don't know when. In my bingo card, I said he might die in chapter 4. I don't want him to die in chapter 4. I don't want him to die, period, but I feel like he is gonna die, at least at some point, which is sad. Des in the bunker. Yeah, I feel like she could be. Gaster in the bunker, that's pretty much confirmed at this point. Politics theory. Don't know what that means. No, Rudy. Politics theory? Okay, I'm just gonna have to keep this open. Politics Deltarune theory. I have never heard of this one. Is it like that's politics, dude? Deltarune. Yeah, I thought. Oh, okay. Not okay. That's not what politics mean. Okay, so the person got it wrong. Um, it's talking about different types of countries' government is around. So, um, Jevil is anarchism. So, or anarchy, like randomness, chaos. Spamton is capitalism. Chapter 3 seems it's going to be communism. Chapter 4, republic. 5, military regime. 6, democracy. And 7 would be a dictatorship. That is what it means. Representing different stuff. I feel like that's... I could see how it definitely... The two definitely fit Spamton and Jevil. Anarchy and capitalism obviously fit those characters very well, especially anarchy for Jevil. But I feel like if they wanted to expand upon it, they could do a theocracy for Chapter 4, considering we think Chapter 4 is supposed to be the church, and a theocracy is based off religion. Communism secret boss. I don't really know how that one is. That's a goofy one, so I'll probably put it down there. Deltarune will have one ending. I feel like that's high. Toby literally said Deltarune is going to have one ending, so I'm going to put that on high one because I feel like that's canon. Chris is dead. People talk about this one because Chris doesn't have a soul, but I don't really know where to put this one. Probably D. Deltarune will have multiple endings. Put this one lower down because I feel like there's more chance that it's going to have one ending technically, maybe 2 endings, maybe not necessarily multiple, like how like Undertale has like 93 something endings technically. Choice theory, I have heard about this one. I feel this is one talking about where your choices don't matter, but they eventually do, which I feel like is kind of I don't know. I feel like that would be a lot of work so maybe not. Yeah, it is. I feel like that the secret bosses are already a lot of people's favorite characters. I mean, Spamton kind of broke the internet. I wonder how insane the next two are gonna be if we get two more, because we might only I think there was some rumors that we might not see a secret boss in chapter 4, or might not see it. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, they could definitely, that they could all 100% be true. I just feel like I don't feel like Toby is making them like that. The main idea of the bosses is that they're trying to get freedom. Hello, Peter Thompson. The big shut in our universe. Yeah, all of them have a theme of being discarded. Yeah. Anagram theory. This is talking about characters with more anagrams would have more impact. That makes sense. Chris, final boss. Eh. Probably Vessel is better. Um, Undertale is no. I don't. I don't like that one. Hello, Peter. 2 days. um, I maybe I should put it higher. I don't like it because Toby has said they're very two separate, and I trust what Toby says. Like, if it's Toby joking and you can tell their sarcasm, that's different. But when he's like very strict with it, like he said blatantly, we're not going to have any Homestuck stuff. So that means we're not going to have Penumbra Phantasma. With Undertale being Deltarune and Undertale being on a timeline, all timeline, I could see it happening. Maybe I'll put it in C tier. Maybe I just feel like there's not enough. Chris's secret brother Risk. Is that actually what it is? I thought it was something different. Are you just joking? That would be funny. Gaster fanboy theory. Okay, yeah, I gotta have to have these pulled up. um. Okay, you were just joking. I, it wouldn't be the craziest theory that I've heard about. So, um, what is it? Gaster fanboy theory? Gaster. I typed that wrong. Gaster fanboy theory. Interesting video. Gaster's motives. Oh, this is a huge theory. Oh, it's a different. Okay. He's a very important guy. That's kind of confirmation bias from the theory I made, because I think he's gonna have at least some kind of relevance to some of the plot. Okay, it seems like I don't like that one. It's like Gaster is like a fan of Undertale story and is making. That's weird. Blue Skies is Forever. That's a song Toby made. Sure. Chris has trauma. Probably. That's probably confirmed. Um, Multiple nights. 100%. There are multiple. I mean, that's already. That's like. We already know that Chris opens a Dark Fountain, and the idea that there's other people who open Dark Fountains already confirms that. So, Chris is one of the 6 humans. No, we're not in Undertale, so that wouldn't account. Chris summoned the player. That's interesting. I could see where that could be a theory. Uh, Secret boss equals different soul mode. Again, possibly. Chris made a Paladin for sympathetic reasons. That could, that one kind of falls apart if you talk about the weird route a little bit. You're learning new ones a day. It implies that he would become like a secret boss, or a secret boss, or like a force to be reckoned with, because with all the shadow crystals getting added for the secret bosses, they empower them. And uh, when you give Sham the one to the of Spamton, he's like, no wonder he was a hard boss to defeat. So Sham knows that they're different shadow. I mean, they even outright say we're not going to be able to beat the next one without the shadow mantle, and then they can't give us the shadow mantle because they lost it, which is funny. Uh, but I think that one was interesting. At least, where did I put it actually? Oh no, my brain died. Did I put it up on the top? They're all orchis read differently. The Okay, I guess we'll find it. Oh, the soul mode. I guess it's just kind of, maybe I should put it higher. I'll put it A, I guess. Yeah, they do seem thought out. Chris is evil. No, Chris is knight. I'll put in a B because I don't really know. Vessel would probably be secret boss. Yeah, Gaster is knight. Probably. Papyrus is knight. Alvin, or I'll put the knights in A tier. Mayor Knight, I haven't really seen too much about that. Death Knight, no. Azrael Knight, meh. Rawlside Knight, they can't make. Darkners can't make that. Kara Butterfly Effect Theory. Okay, let's see what this one is, because I do not know that one. I know what Butterfly Effect is. Okay, let's see here. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's okay. So, it seems like the butterfly theory is like, if Kara doesn't exist, this, and this happen, and it's a bunch of jumping through holes that like you can't really connect. So I don't like those too much. Undertale, no. Player is Angel. I have seen this one. This one has some talent ones. Nera, Kara, and Deltarune, possibly. Kara is Azriel's college roommate. That would be so funny. I don't imagine we were playing through chapter 4 and like instead of it having like a big ending like someone opening the chapter 5 fountain or something, it's just, hey Chris, look at my here, meet my roommate Kara. that would be such a that would be so funny and ruin so many theories that I really want to put it in a high A tier, and I'm going to. There's nothing to support that, but I really like that. The idea that Azul's just like, hey, look, there's another human roommate. Look. Frisk is a little bit less because I feel like I don't know. Frisk is kind of a blank character, but it would be so funny to see that happen. Submarine Castletown. I have heard this one before. It's kind of okay. I don't know. It's because of like an underwater world near where Onion is. Grand Fountain made Ralsei special. Yep, that's pretty much just confirmed. I'll put it in A tier. Eggman is Papyrus. I've seen why. No. The Underground is a Dark World. No. Monsters Bleed. I do like this theory. I feel like it should be B. I like it, but I don't know if it's completely confirmed. Foreshadows. What? Foreshadows? What does that mean? I get what the four shadows mean, but why is it? What are they foreshadowing? That's a cool name of a theory, actually. Hello. Eggman was a Robotnik reference. Um. Oh, okay. Okay. That's interesting. I like that one. It's talking about the shadows. Gaster is egg. It's talking about the fact that the shadows in that one puzzle in chapter 2. It's like right next to when you get the Birdley backstory with him in the spelling bee. It's talking about that those shadows might be foreshadowing stuff. That's interesting. I do kind of. I mean, it does make sense. On this theory, the sun is Noelle. The home is Susie because she doesn't have one. Um, the wave is Rousey, and then the other one is an unknown character, and then obviously we have Birdley in the middle with like the duck. Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like that one could have some merit. Um, yeah, if Des is not in the code, then I don't know who is. Goner Rousey. I have seen that one. I really like the Cammy Boy G interpretation of that one. That one is really good. Vessel equal Kara slash actor. Maybe I don't know. Azrael's Angel. Oh, I've had heard of the Universal Mother theory. It's okay. It's talking about how there's going to be multiple mother figures for like Susie and Noelle, which is interesting. Every Man is Night. No. Time loop theory. This is a Jaru theory. I think where he said that there's going to be time loops where the theme of Don't Forget is because Deltarune is in a time loop that is going to be continuously going over and over and over, and the only way to banish the angel is to go back into the time loop, which is interesting. It does take some leaps in logic, like most of his theories do, but I feel like it's interesting. I'll put that in B tier. Shadow crystals, yeah, shadow crystals show the time loop. That's part of that. I'll put that back in, right next to it. Where is it? Right here. Put it right next to it. Roaring has occurred before. That's interesting. I'll put that there. Oblivion. I've heard about this, but I've never really looked at it. What is Oblivion theory? Wow, it auto-filled in. This must be a popular theory. Whoa. This is a huge... Whoa. Oblivion Theory Guide. Okay. It's a Gaster talking about the Knights. What in the Oblivion is that? It's a huge... This is like a Word... that's not a Word doc. It's like a Google Doc with like 50 pages. No, not 50. 300... 330... 69? Nice. That's so many. It was just loading. I thought it said 50 pages. I gotta show this. Look how big this is. It's still loading all of the pages. Yeah, T theory is basically canon. Look at all of this stuff. It's going into 300 pages. It's like going into like Sky Forever Blue stuff. Is the files like it's so huge, and we're only there's so much stuff, and we're only on page 50. What does the end one look like? How did you? You know what? I really want to put that Deltarune fans. How much is this theory gonna expand in like chapter 3 and 4? You know what? Just because you put in that effort, that I couldn't even understand that. That's the highest theory. Like it from what it looks like, it's talking about the overall themes and trying to condense them down into the idea of oblivion, the idea that the idea that Gaster is like it. I don't know how to. I'm still trying to process some of the information that I read because I just kind of was scrolling through it. It's just like covering everything. It's trying to cover everything and put that on a very cohesive timeline, which is why it's so long. It's not just like one point exaggerated. It's like pretty much every single evidence in the game trying to tie it back to Gaster or trying to attack it to back. Like Gaster is trying to have like a type of a game, and we're trying to like steer it into oblivion. I might have to go and read that. Not all of it. I'm not gonna read all of that, but just because I might just put a new tier for that one. Maybe that's insane. T theory, that one is practically canon. Gaster's secret boss, that's practically canon too, I would assume. Sham, I don't know if he would be I don't know if they would be a secret boss. I'll put it in S because I would like to have them as a boss. They're a very interesting character. I'm gonna finally play Deltarune. I have not played Mother 2 or 3. I've not played any of those games or Earthbound or anything. I probably should. I would like to see them as a boss. Maybe not as secret boss, but I feel like it could be interesting. Second voice and intro is Kara. Maybe. I could see where that could be possible. Gaster drove Jevil mad. Yep, that's canon. Same thing with Spamton. Jeff Vessel? No, I feel like the Vessel. No, we don't know too much. Gaster is central to the plot. Yes. Gaster made Deltarune? Yeah, probably. Dark World and Church? Yep. Dark World and Flower Shop? Yeah. Dark World and Bunker? Yeah. Dark World and Icy's Pezza? I don't know about that one. Probably a B. Noelle is Angel? Probably. Maybe just A. Dark World and Hospital? I don't know how you would theme a Dark World around the hospital, so I'm gonna put that in C. Noelle and Dark World's house. Here's the thing: if Noelle is gonna be in chapter 4, I feel like that we wouldn't need to have it there. I'll put it in B. Device Theory, amazing theory. Go watch it from Molly Stars. Really good. If you have to spare like 10 hours worth of stuff, you feel Gaster would be like Porky. Basically talking about how the game of Undertale, the game of Deltarune is in a device in itself that is going to be kind of a survey that Gaster is trying to fill out. Molly Stars, they do an excellent job in those 3 videos covering everything. It's very coherent, very well designed. I would definitely recommend you go check that out if you have some time on your hands. Freedom Motif is Gaster's theme. Yep. Andrew Cunningham always nails it. Yep. Third entity, this is another kind of Andrew Cunningham one where there's probably going to be a third entity tier. I feel like it's interesting, but I feel like there's some holes into it. Noelle is a traitor. I have heard of this one. I don't really like it too much. It does have some evidence, so I can't put an F and D probably, but it's the idea that Noelle is kind of a traitor is I don't like it too much, and you have to do some leaps in logic with it. Um, Will theory, yeah, I have heard about this. Let's just talk about the fountains in Will. Uh, Shadow crystals equal shattered dreams of Lightner. That yeah, I could see that. Letter equal Gaster. What does that mean? Letter. Is there a letter? I'm drawing a blank here. Letter. Oh, I think I know what it's talking. That one Valentine's letter. Is that what it's talking about? Yeah. Okay. I know what it's talking about. That could be possible. I feel like that could be possible. Yeah, Valentine's letter. I completely forgot about that one. I read it and I thought it could be a chapter 3 character. Yeah, that's what I feel like it could be. Um, Depth theory. Yeah, just talk about the background. I like this one. The idea that we're gonna have an underwater esque. I think that's what it is, right? I might be thinking of a different one. Depth theory, is that right? Oh no, it's something. It's I was thinking of something different. Yeah, okay, the idea that we're going into the depths of okay. Yeah, I feel like I put it in the right place then. The idea that you're going into the depths, uh, the cat, yeah, or the yeah, Mike or whatever. Yeah, that could be definitely it for the letter. Um, it's just kind of talking about how we're diving into the depths of the dark world and what the themes are. Which yeah, I feel like B is probably good for that. No, I'm not even gonna acknowledge that one. And same thing with Gaster's Angel. I feel like he would be a different one. Gas leak theory again. No. If you don't know, people originally thought that Chris just stabbed a gas line. The only thing I could see that the gas theory could be right is that maybe the explanation we give Toriel after the chapter 3 is that, oh, I think there was a gas leak in our house. We're going to have to evacuate, instead of telling her that the dark world was real. I don't really know that one. I don't like that one too much. Gaster had a hand in Death's appearances. That could be cool. Wait, Garfield. Wait, is there one that says Garfield? Or are you just saying that? Azrael is dead. No, I don't like those ones. Nope, Azrael's dust, same. I've seen that clocks can point to possible dark worlds. It's interesting. Azrael slash Ralshay sings Don't Forget. That could be interesting. I like that. We do know that there's going to be a vocal track in chapter 3 that it looks like Ralsei is going to sing. So we'll have to wait and see if his voice sounds like that. No, I don't think they're the same character. Mike is the chapter 3 antagonist. I don't know. I'll put that one C. I feel like Tenna is definitely going to... Oh, I lost it. Oh, crap. I can't... Oh, now I have to find it now. Oh, come on. Time loop. Or I'll say it... It should be obvious, because it was just Tenna, right? There's Mike. Oh, did I seriously lose it? Ugh. Unless it automatically, like, went back down here. It might. That would be funny. Clock theory. Will. Time loop, shadow crystal. Strike back. Monsters bleed. I guess it's gone. I don't know where it went. I really wish I could figure out where it went. No, I'm not. That's gonna bother me because I don't know where it went unless it went down here. Shadow crystal shows a world without Chris. That could be interesting. It's in the B category. It is. My resolution is low. Or not, or it gets upgraded or not upgraded. Okay, wait. Bleed, Rouse. There we go. Okay, Tenna is there we go. Thank you. I feel like that's S. Eggman is Gaster, maybe. So something's true. No, I don't like that one too much because Susie looks angry when you look at it, and I don't like the idea that Susie doesn't like you and is lying. Gaster fragments, that could be interesting. Chapter 3 secret boss is a flower themed / flower references. I have this on my bingo card. This could probably be the case. Birdly is fallen down in the weird route. If it means dead, then I'm gonna say yes. Birdly is dead. I don't want him to be dead, but I strongly believe Birdly is going to be dead in the next chapters in the weird route. Choice between Noelle and Rouse. I've seen that. In Dragon Blazers, you get to choose between a mage left the party, so the idea that we're gonna have to pick and choose could be interesting. So that one is definitely an A1. I like that one. Angel's Hell. I've heard of this one, and I'm pretty sure I watched the video on it, but I gotta be reminded. It's been a while since I have seen this one. Angel's Hell. Abnormally strong. Oh, it's talking about... Okay. Wait, no, that doesn't seem right. It's talking about Noelle. Yeah, okay. It's talking about Noelle being... That would be interesting. Birdly becoming a goner. I feel like if he were to become a goner, it would have to be something that we would have to do, not necessarily Noelle. So I do wonder what would have happened. But that's an interesting take on it. I do like Angel's Hell. The idea that Noelle is the angel, kind of. Woody Theory. I love Woody Theory because of its sanity, and I'm going to be kind of sad if it isn't. Either I want the Flowey, or like the flower secret boss, and I want the Woody Theory. I love Woody Theory, and it's because of how stupid it is. Connection Theory, same thing. This connection between us and the player, I believe. Dark Worlds or D&D. That. Oh, well, here's what... Okay, I don't know what this one means. If this means Dark Worlds are inspired by Dungeons & Dragons, yes. If this is the idea that Deltarune doesn't actually exist and the Dark Worlds don't exist, we're just playing Dungeons & Dragons, then that's F. The idea that all the characters we meet are not real are not real in their own universe. Like, I don't like that. That's the same thing with like dream stuff, where it's like, oh, it was all a dream, it never really happened. I hate those. I do that. If that happens for Deltarune, I don't like it, and it ruins some of how the story is laid out. So if that's what they're talking about, I don't like that. Dark Worlds parallel Undertale areas. I don't really see how they would parallel Undertale areas too much. Rules is Gaster. Nope, that's a chapter 1 theory. That's canon. Some of these are like some of the old theories, I believe. Deltarune. or Deltarune Azrael has Undertale on his piece. That's just a kind of a joke, but yeah, sure, whatever. Prequel, no. AU. I thought I thought that this was already one of them. I feel like maybe, but not necessarily. Deltarune is nope, not fanfiction. Nope, I've heard that one. Deltarune is a genocide sequel. Okay, I have heard about this one. Yeah, yeah, it feels like the whole idea of Deltarune is definitely themed off of a dream. I mean, Toby got the idea of this game from a fever dream. So the idea of it being dream and having dream-like stuff makes sense, especially considering some characters think it was a dream. Noelle and Birdley think it was a dream and whatnot. But I would really hate if it went down that path. I don't think it will. I think Toby knows well enough it's not. But why does he look so similar to him? Maybe that was just Toby trying to troll, I guess, or whatever. But I remember in chapter 1 when everyone thought he was Gaster. I have heard this one where it's when Kara says we'll move on to the next world, they could have been implying Deltarune, which does have some interesting interesting stuff behind it. But I don't think it's too that big. Okay, this one. If you don't know, in the originally in Undertale, Papyrus was supposed to be kind of a Redditor. He was going to have a fedora and kind of be kind of a creepy, sleazy dude, and you would try and open up to him, but wouldn't really want to talk to him too much. And then Toby was like, you know what? I like his character. I don't want to ruin him like that. So he made the Papyrus we all love. And the idea is that this Papyrus is an antisocial incel. Now, I do like the idea that Papyrus is an antisocial. Mainly because if we're to believe that the Sans is from Deltarune, that means Papyrus is also from this, or it's the same one from Undertale's from Deltarune. That means Sans would have taken Papyrus away from all of his friends from Undertale, and he wouldn't know anyone. He would try talking to Undyne or Alphys, Toriel, and then they wouldn't know him. Because the idea that he's trying to like hide and that's why Sans says he needs friends because he doesn't know anyone. That could be interesting, but the idea he's an incel and is like m'lady, I hate that. If that happens, that will kind of ruin Papyrus. If he has a different design, that's different. That being said, Sans doesn't have a different design, which kind of plays into the idea that he's the same character, but that also just could be because it's Sans and Sans is special. But if Papyrus is antisocial and not an incel, I like that for his character. If he is an incel, no. Gaster versus Kara, I have seen this. It's like versus. It's interesting, but there's not too much evidence to go off of. Gaster split universe. I've heard that one. Yeah, no, he split that one. Icy Theory, I've heard this one. The monster is going to become a thing. I think it's funny, so I definitely put it higher up. And then Ralse is Chris's ideal self. That could be the case. I mean, we do know Chris tried to pretend to grow horns and whatnot, so that could be the case. Maybe that's why Chris doesn't like them too much from the T theory, because they are upset at Ralse or whatever. Possibly, we'll just have to wait and see. But that is all of them. All of these theories ranked. This is pretty much like all of the theories through all of the years. And yeah, I feel like I'm very happy with all of these. Some of them were kind of obvious. Like, most of these ones are the combination of ones that are pretty obvious to like T theory, like, Rudy will die, and then some of them are obvious, are different. But even though the only one theory that I remember not liking, period, Dark Nerd Sans an F. I don't Wait, is it? It's an FF? Did I might have misclicked that then. Okay, I want it to be in D. I don't want it to be an F. I must have misclicked it or accidentally dragged it. I don't like the Dark Sands one simply because we don't. There's no evidence to support it in. There's some evidence to support, like some other, even some of like the bad theories, like Azrael's dust and stuff. There's at least some type of evidence. With the Sans as Darkner, the evidence takes some leaps in logic, and I feel like it's just a kind of a backhanded way to say Sans is from is different from the other monsters, where you can just say Sans is the Undertale Sans. Oh, I dropped something. My bad. I There is the door. That is a good point to make. I actually I forgot about that. I always assume more stuff with Sans to be the case of he knows about the dark worlds and stuff, but just doesn't care because he's at his home now. But now that you say that, that does make me. I still don't know how much I would like it. I'm ranking these based off how much I think they could be true and how much I feel like they're not going to be true. I feel like from a standpoint of Toby, most of these ones are not going to have a chance to become true simply because he's either denied them or doesn't want to focus on them. With Sans the Darkner, I feel like he doesn't want to talk about Sans too much because he knows how popular the character is, and I feel like there's just some. I feel like they could do more interesting stuff with Sans than just him being a Darkner. I feel like there's different stuff they could do with it, but yeah, that is all. How long have we been streaming for? Around an hour? Okay. I actually thought that would take a little bit longer than what I thought it was, but yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this. I mean, we did 160 plus theories, all ranked. Let me know which ones. I know you did say that you liked the Sans' Darkner theory. I have a lot of fun with this. Yeah, like I said, the only theory that what was the only theory that I genuinely think is bad, is the idea of the dream theory. That's the only theory that I don't like, simply because when I play games, that's even the theme of Deltarune. Deltarune has the escapism as one of its main themes. The characters are trying to escapism. We are literally having escapism playing the game. But the idea that everything in the game itself is just in your imagination, is just a dream, that trope gets really annoying, and I don't like it. The whole reason I play a game is to get immersed in that world and that story, and to have a realization that that world that was built up in that story is all fake. I don't like that, but that's the only theory I really don't like. All these other ones are probably good, except probably the homophobic Toriel theory. That one's pretty bad, but we're not going to talk about that one. Azrael's Dust I don't like either, but I feel Azrael's Dust has some themes that I think are interesting, with the idea that you could possibly reincarnate characters with their dust, but the idea that Azrael's dead is bad. But yeah, that's going to be about it for this stream. I hope you all enjoyed. Probably not going to stream tomorrow. I might stream. I'm not 100% sure. I might stream maybe some I don't know what I would stream actually, because I'm not really gonna play Deltarune because I already have my save files ready. So maybe I won't stream tomorrow. We'll have to see. But definitely stay tuned for Wednesday. I'm going to play it as soon as it drops. So I'm gonna try, and I don't know if it's ready for pre-download. Usually you can pre-download it on console, and I'm gonna try and have it already downloaded. So as soon as it allows me to play it, I'm gonna hop in, and we're just gonna binge and play nothing but that for like the entire day. And I'm gonna do that for like Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe not Friday, because I do have stuff going on Friday, I think. But I'm just gonna play the heck out of Chapter 3 and 4. But yeah, that's about it. Stay noble. I'll see you guys in the next stream.